హలో సార్. ఇచ్చాను సార్ అబ్బాయికి. మీ సీతారామే ఇంకా ఆవిడ తర్వాత చేశాను.
So good morning, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Yes. So good morning, everyone. This is Hema, and I welcome you all here today on behalf of ISDE Academy India Private Limited and PS Quality Certifications. So thank you, participants, for even coming on bad weather. And thanks to our IT team to arrange this wonderful webinar. So from ISD Academy, we provide a broad range of training, consulting services, and products to help your organization or institution to achieve its performance improvement goals. We deliver ISO certification training and auditing courses that will help your organization implement an effective quality management system. We provide certification and training for the main standard that relate to quality, environment, occupational health and safety, information security, educational, organization management system as well. Our mission is to provide top quality training to your staff, teaching skills that can be transferred realistically to the workplace. To serve the people in creating, communicating, preserving, and applying knowledge, art, and academic values, and in develop leaders and citizens who will challenge the present and enrich the future. So today's session is about IQAC, that is Internal Quality Assurance Cell roles and responsibilities. And it has a greater role and responsibility in maintaining quality standards in the whole process of teaching, learning, and evaluation. To have a detailed outlook about this, I welcome Dr. D.C. Madangi here. So she is the
Thank you,
I welcome you here, ma'am. So Dr. Matangi, she is the professor and head Department of Mind Body Medicine and Lifestyle Sciences from Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. She has completed her MSc and PhD in Medicine Physiology, MBA in Hospital Management, PGDBI, PGDBE, and Certified Life Coach from Symbiosis USA. So she's trained by MHRD, yes ma'am, thank you, and served as IQAC coordinator for 10 plus years from Chettinad Academy of Research and Education, and currently as IQAC core committee member of Srihar. I welcome you here ma'am, you can take over the session, thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am, you're not audible. Can you just unmute yourself?
A very good morning, and I wish to appreciate the PS Quality Certification for organizing this program and most importantly, starting it on time. And my special appreciation to all the delegates who have joined. I don't know how many of you are from the cyclone area who have also joined. I'm in one of that area, and I hope I don't have any issues with my connection or anything. Because in spite of all these things, if we are participating in programs like this, that shows our intent in quality. For quality, I'm sure each one of you will agree, like it is a personal thing. I'm not going to put the blame on anybody else. It is me first. That actually comes. And hats off to each one who has joined. And it's a pleasure for me to be here. And it will be a mutual learning experience. And I'm sure the organizers will permit you to unmute yourself to pause me at any time or put your questions on the chat box, which the organizers will let me know. Okay. And this entire session, I've broken it up into two segments. Number one, I would go into IQAC and its roles, the functioning of IQAC, what would be the ideal situation. Okay. And the part two, how can IQAC do a value addition in the institution so that the institutes keep growing further. Before I go over, I wish to just put this disclaimer because it is IQAC. Most of it I have taken it from NAC. And some of the institutions who are wonderful institutions who have really done excellent job in bringing the institution up have come up with some flow charts and other things. I have taken it from those institutions. So definitely for everything, the copyright still remains with the original creator. I've just used them to make this presentation visually appealing and easy to understand. I'm sure each one of you will agree with me on this component. NAC has started with only one vision, to make quality the defining element of every higher education institution in India through a combination of self plus external quality evaluation. For what? Promotion and sustenance initiatives. So that means NAC's prerogative has been to only step up each one of our institutions towards higher level. We are not competing with anybody, but we are becoming our own institution, taking up to the next level. Okay? So the main mission of NAC is for promotion of quality in every aspect, be it in the innovative curriculum or the teaching learning method or research or how the institution is being governed. Everything, there is quality, right? So that's what it looks, and especially this is mainly because involving every stakeholder. When I tell a stakeholder, we think only of the teachers, students, the faculty or the staff members or administrators. Beyond that, add on the community where our institution is actually set up. Okay, so everybody becomes a stakeholder in that institution. So the four things that are very, very important here is the programs that we offer, are our faculty, who are our passed out graduates or the alumni, and how good is our infrastructure in doing all these things. These four pillars are what each one of us in our institution needs to strengthen. Why should we do it? If you see it, each institution that is there in that geographical location, we cater to not only that area, but beyond that area as well. So we contribute to our national development. As we are, because we are having a score and a ranking, we are actually growing further and further in every aspect, so that our passed out students become globally competent and our programs are relevant as well. Because that's why NAC has also included so many value added programs or the add-on programs and other things, so that as the students get involved in our community activities, it's not just I, me, myself. They become somebody to the society. They become somebody who is worthy enough to be called as the citizen of the country. The values being inculcated in them through various programs that we conduct. And as we go further, I'm sure with this COVID, each one of us have known how imperative is having technology in our institution, and how imperative it is to promote the use of technology in every facet of the academic institution. So if you're going to do all these things, there only one goal that is there is quest for excellence in whatever I do, right? So this is what every institution should have in their vision and mission statement. I'm sure you see some of these words in most of the institution vision or mission statement as well, right? Going on to our topic of today, which is internal quality assurance cell. If NAC had made this for the entire country, that means the IQAC of every institution is now going to be the person who is going to take this institution towards the vision of NAC. So the vision of IQAC is to ensure the quality culture as the prime concern for the higher education institution. How? The two things. One, institutionalizing the quality culture plus internalizing it. When I say internalize, that means every stakeholder of the institution wants to be a part in the institution growing further by inculcating those principles of quality, right? If I want to make India clean, that means I should not throw my ticket or my paper bit on the road. Right from that, if that's involved in cleaning India or Swachh Bharat, I think that's much more in improving quality in a higher education institution. This could be done from within, that is the internal support, or the external support, like the programs that each one of us are attending now. Okay. So the primary aim would be to develop a system of conscious, consistent, and catalytic action. All the three C's are very, very important. Now, why am I doing it? Am I going to sustain doing it? Am I going to force somebody doing it, or am I going to be like a catalyst in this process doing it? We cannot force. There is no dictatorship or autocracy here. It is only a catalytic action that IQAC needs to play here. Okay. Sometimes if IQAC becomes authoritative, going into the autocratic mode, you will definitely not have the support of each of your stakeholder. So being a catalytic action is very, very important. And it's not just once in 5-year job, it is consistent, right? So to promote the measures for institutional functioning towards quality enhancement through internalization of quality culture and institutionalization of best practices. So these two I's, internalization and institutionalization, are again the key thing of IQAC. Okay. So how do I do it? Okay. When you see how you do it, it is a few steps are there. I've just tried to put them as, because it's not as a flow, but everything encompasses the role of IQAC. Ensure the clarity and focus in the institutional functioning towards quality enhancement. IQAC is not the board of management. Board of management or the Senate is different, but IQAC plays an important role in providing some amount of clarity in all these things to the BOM as well. Okay? Ensures internalization of the quality culture, enhances, especially it ensures the enhancement of coordination among the various activities of the institution to see to it that if you see an institution growing, every facet is important. If one facet is down, it's going to pull the entire institution. So we'll have to see that every facet we are trying to inch forward. Okay, no other one is going to pull us down. Okay, it's completely made on a very sound basis of decision making. That's why the catalytic action becomes very, very important with participatory involvement. So when we do all these things, quality, as I said, is not a 5-year one-time job. Every 5th year when we go for accreditation, it's not like that, but it's a dynamic process. Okay, and this completely is possible only if we are very systematic, methodical, good documentation, and fantastic internal communication. When I say communication, I'm sure you will agree it is never a one-way. It is a two-way dialogue is there. Only then we will get the best out of everybody. We'll be seeing each one, how do we develop in our IQAC. Okay. I'm sure all of you are familiar with these 7 steps of quality, which is given by NAC. Quest for excellence, understanding the concept very clearly. Every IQAC member should know the concept very clearly as well. Only then we can impart it to our colleagues. Okay, and whatever we tell, it is not just a lip service, it is action oriented. And at the end of it, an academic institution is for the student. So it is always a learner centric approach. And wherever we can, we should try to innovate in every facet, be it talking, be it technology use, be it taking class or anything. Okay. Everything goes on and everything is a year-long activity with number of trainings and workshops that IQAC keeps conducting to improve upon the quality in the institution. So if you see that, why should we do it? When we do it, we are reaching towards the NAC goal or the IQAC mission statement towards quality enhancement and quality culture, plus integrating what is happening, identifying what is the best practice and other things so that we are able to institutionalize that best practice and make it to a good practice. And completely it is based on the decision making so that the institutional functions as a coherent team, not in silos. We work together towards the institutional growth. So that means IQAC is the change agent. Anything and everything starts from our IQAC. Okay? So all these things are possible only if you communicate well. I'm not going to go into this. I'm sure all of you are familiar with this because we keep doing it as IQAC is a nodal center for all the data. We are responsible for our okay, we are responsible. Am I audible now? Because the host muted me. I've unmuted myself. Submitting it to the NAC. Okay. These are general things. I need to go beyond this as well. Okay. So how do I go about doing it? Number 1, select the right people. NAC has given guidelines of to how many people have to be there in an IQAC, who is the chairperson, internal members, external members, some members from the management, some members from the students, some members from the society as well, alumni too. He is given based on the institutional size, we can have the number of people. But when we say the people, please don't take them by designation. Please take them only if they are towards quality. I'm sure we can see who is working towards quality in your organization. Just work to identify such people who will work irrespective of what they are going to get back, because IQAC, you don't get anything. I always say IQAC doesn't get garlands or pedestal. IQAC mostly gets only a brick back. Okay? Because, oh God, IQAC, another mail, I wish to put it in. How many people feel about IQAC as well. But there are people who work with IQAC, who want to make IQAC a very dynamic one, who want to make the institution the best. Identify such people. Okay. Once you identify such people, form subcommittees. I'll tell you how you form subcommittees, but it's not enough if you form subcommittees. What we need to do is, may I request the organizers to mute the participants, please? May I request the participant to self-mute, please? Thank you. Okay, so we need to form these subcommittees. It's not a ritual forming subcommittees. Empower the subcommittees as much as possible. Till what level they can be empowered? Please make them, because only if you empower them are they going to have that autonomy to make some clarity decisions which they can convey to the IQAC. IQAC need to form quality policies for every aspect. Develop SOP. Now, each one of us are conducting so many webinars and other things. How many of the institutions have developed SOP for conducting webinars? How many days or weeks before should a webinar program be intimated to the IT department? What should be the flow? How should the IT department progress? What should be the invitation format? What should be the feedback methodology? When should the report be submitted back? How should the speakers be identified? How are we documented? How many of us have done it? I'm just telling, because all of us are doing a lot of webinar. Develop an SOP for everything. Developing an SOP is definitely a role of IQAC. Okay, please take it. IQAC can coordinate with the respective departments to see to it that the SOPs are developed. So that shows we have quality in everything, right? So our quality policies are clearly defined. These subcommittees that we have formed should keep meeting periodically, and these submit their findings and other things to the main IQAC committee, because they can only identify areas where we need to work on. But for execution and other things, or decision to be finally made, it has to come back to the IQAC. Only then we can take it further. So this is a very simple flowchart. I didn't want to confuse it so much. Let's take these 5 steps slowly. The minute I have identified my IQAC team, obviously, if it's a university, the vice chancellor becomes the chairman of IQAC. You can see that this organogram has no arrow. It was wantonly made with no arrow because only then the communication is bidirectional. Okay. He forms the IQAC. And this IQAC can have subcommittee for each criteria for a college, or can also have IQAC for each of the constituent college if it's a university as well. The role of each one of them is going to be, because NAC self-study report, or SSR, that we'll be using in this webinar often, has lot of metrics that has come into in the revised manual. Number 1, qualitative metrics. Number 2, which is quantitative metrics. Please just want to impress upon, quantitative metrics contributes to 65 to 70% of your total NAC grading, and 30 to 33% is your qualitative metrics, depending on your type of your institution. Okay, so form a committee for this. Those who are good at writing qualitative metrics, add them. Those who are do good at documentation and other things, data identification, into quantitative metrics. Like that, you have your subcommittee ideally formed. each department, let them have an IQAC coordinator for that department, because we are going to have roles for them as well. Okay, then they will help in compiling the report for the department. So can we go in the reverse way? Each department prepares their report. You can make it according to your institutional size and output. Should this department report be monthly or quarterly or half-yearly, depending on the output of your departments? Make your department report compilation like that, and let your department coordinator submit them to your college compilation committee, who submitted to the IQAC of the constituent college, who compile it and submit it to the IQAC. You can see that we are having check at each level. Now, what is the subcommittee and how do I form the subcommittee? This subcommittee can be formed based on criteria. Have one member as the team lead, who is definitely your IQAC core committee member. And under them or along with them, I don't wish to put under, along with them, you make a 3 or 4 member team. Please don't make only HODs into these team. Please keep young people into these team. I say young people because young people come with a lot of energy and enthusiasm to work. Give them an opportunity to contribute, because as the institution grows, they also grow along. So they would probably be like your building blocks whom you're grooming to lead your team. Okay, so make a team like that, because you need to do some running around and errand jobs, typing, repeating it, going and asking all those things. So have your young team as well. Okay, so develop your team like this. Some 3 to 4 member, depending on your criteria that you're going to take, depending on the load that you have. Let's take, if some institution are too good in their research output, which is your criteria 3, this 3 or 4 member team might not be sufficient. Make it as little bigger subcommittee team. Okay, so this is, I'm just telling how do you make your manpower organized. So I'm going to have a department coordinator. I'm going to have a subcommittee for each criteria. So that team lead becomes the champion for that criteria as well. And all of them report to the college quality cell or the college IQAC. All the college IQAC chairperson or chief coordinator become the core committee of your IQAC members, and everybody is taken together or taken through in institutional growth by the head of the institution or the vice chancellor. So let's go step by step. So now I have my people. How do I work? We have now seen how the IQAC coordinator helps the HOD compile it, who sends it to the college quality cell or the college IQAC, comes there, and then it comes criteria wise head who coordinate it, submit it as each criteria to the IQAC. I'm just telling it more as a preparing a report. We will go further beyond this as well. Okay. How should this each criteria committee, I've taken it as a criteria committee, you can take it in any way it wants. So there are 7 criterias in NAC. Each criteria we can have a committee. The committee reads the NAC manual very clearly, including the SOP that NAC has given for the manual. Okay, so allow them to brainstorm. It's like a workshop for the committee. Let them brainstorm on that criteria. Understand what is that metric thoroughly. Look into how this metric has been addressed by other institutions which have already gone for NAC. Okay, it's not copying, it is learning from others' experience. With that, identify what is our institution status in these metric. If we have already done it earlier, where were we last time? What is our current status? Have we grown, or are we maintaining status, or is it a dip? Where are we in this metric? Set a benchmark or a target to be achieved. Don't just say, I want one publication per faculty before next 6 months. What's going to be the methodology? Brainstorm on the methodology that is required to achieve this target that you have set. Have a reason why you're setting this target. What will this target get the institution? Where will it take us? Anything. Okay. How will we have our thing in NAC, NIRF, or other metric that we might go to? These methodologies which you're going to apply or suggest, what are the timelines? When are you going to conduct this workshop? By when do you think this will bear its fruit? How do you propose to plan a follow-up? Work on this metric like this. This is a workshop. Each criteria need to work on, and after this they bring their brainstorming comment completely to the IQAC, so that there is again a brainstorming with the core committee members of the IQAC to see, yes, can I apply it? If I'm going to say the publication, how do I have the publication? Nothing works without a carrot, right? Every faculty does a publication. So how do I motivate? Do I give one increment? Do I put their name on the desktop of every computer in the institution to congratulate them? Do I pay their publication charges? Because now your management comes in, because there is a money involved, right? Anything a committee can say, but is it possible or not? The core committee has to see whether what is the money incurred, what all would be the long-term impact of this for the institution. How should we go about it? Do we need additional manpower? Everything has to be thrashed in the IQAC core committee meeting. If it is requiring some big management decision, it has to go to the BOM before it's made as a policy and then come back into action. If we are not going to follow it, we are going to have a stumbling block. Every step, it's always thing is something which is planned well is half well executed. Spend time in this planning. Spend time in identifying the right people. Spend time in conducting these brainstorming workshops. Give a year to every member of the team to air their opinion. Nobody comes into IQAC meeting to have the coffee, tea, and biscuits and go. They should have contributed in commenting for something, added value in that meeting. Let's make the IQAC a hierarchy less committee, so that everybody is ready to voice their comment, opinion, and other things. Okay. So how should the IQAC internalize quality in higher education? Because this we have been telling, right? Institutionalize, internalize. How do we do it? Number one, this, whatever you have deliberated in your core committee or your subcommittee or any way, try to make it reach at the department level. Have an interaction with the departments as much as possible. Tell them how much their contribution in it is going to mean to the institution at large. Right? Sir, kindly mute yourself, please. Thank you. So make it, just don't tell them we need A grade. Don't tell them. What does that A grade get to the faculty? What does the A grade get to the institution? What does the A grade mean to a prospective student? Why should we have that A or A plus grade, right? Because an A grade is not something only for the institution to put it on the advertisement or on anything that they have, but it has so many advantages for each and every stakeholder, a student, a faculty. Everybody has a role, has a take from the cake of that A plus or A grade that the institution has got. Make that percolate down to the last faculty or staff in your institution. Only then they are going to contribute to you. Okay, get that first. Everything in NAC, or for that matter, quality documentation. how well is the process documented. If a HOD leaves, I'm sorry, that HOD was doing, I don't know how he was doing it. No, anybody is there or not, the process is laid out. It goes in. I am sure all of you will agree. You know, so many things to learn from the animal kingdom. The ants. The ants, bee, wasp, everything has that seamless leadership. You don't know if the queen bee is going to survive or not. If the queen bee dies, who takes the next role? Till the last man, planning is being done in the animal kingdom. You see this sort of a planning which is being done even in our army when they go for some attack or anything. If the main commander doesn't go, till the last person whose order has to be taken is being decided before they go in for. Do we have such process in our academic institution? Why are we not having it? Most of us don't have. So let us have processes laid down and proper documentation of every activity of the department. When I say department, it not only encompasses the teaching department, all the administrative departments as well. It's not a one-time document goes into the shelf and gets dust over it. No, it's a dynamic documentation which is important. Okay. All of us work with IQAC with this one thing: collect and collate. Please don't stop there. Validate that data. Is this data that we have collected appropriate? Is it the right way of collecting it? I'll give you just a small example, a publication. Each department gives a publication and you're going to add up from each department and your publication goes up. But if you see, it was a collaborative publication. That publication was cited by all the three departments. Instead of three, it should have been one, right? So that amount of simple validation is actually required, okay? Look into all these things, because when you go for NAC submission, probably that would be some other time that this organization would be doing it. I'm not going into it, that part. There is so much of data validation and verification or DVV process that NAC does. I'm not going in for NAC, but should we not be clear what data we are going to give for any regulatory body or accrediting body or ranking body? Let's validate the data. It's a role of IQAC. Anything that we do, it cannot be done without getting a feedback. I would not tell it as a 360-degree feedback. I would tell it as a multi-cornered feedback. Every facet of your institution, please get a feedback. It's not enough if you get a feedback. Analyze the feedback. Not enough analyzing it. Have an action plan on the feedback. It's not enough if you're going to brainstorm on the action plan. Execute that action plan and see to it. You review this feedback again to see if this feedback that you got loop has been closed. This non-compliance that you got for something, or this negative feedback that you got, or this areas to improve that you got, have you improved by the action that you have taken? Each one of us have to do it, even as a teacher. With regard to IQAC, every system has to be done by this multi-cornered feedback. And your SOP for feedback should say, when will you collect it? Who will collect it? How will you collect it? How will you analyze? How will you plan your action plan for it? When will you reanalyze it? Everything has to be there in your SOP. Okay. Nothing is possible without IQAC disseminating these informations of quality. I can just keep telling quality, quality, quality. But what is quality? Why quality? How can I bring quality into this? Such type of workshops should be periodically conducted by IQAC. It could be workshop, it could be seminars, it could be conferences, it could be deliberations and open brainstorming where each one says how it could be improved upon. Okay. When we do all these things, please watch out, eyes, ears open, across all the corners of the institution. across all the other academic institutions closer by, in India, outside India. Identify innovative ideas. If it's possible, try to tap innovative ideas among your stakeholders. It's just not faculty, it's your stakeholder. Just ask. Now we had some people not unmuting. I'm sure all of us are facing these in our class. Can we just put the question back to our students? Students, can you just tell me how we can avoid these noises in our class? How we can avoid this annotation and other things in our class? If I'm going to tell all of you to mute yourself, the class loses that liveliness. How do I make it? You will see that your students come up with innovative ideas than what you had thought of, right? They will always say a difficult task, give it to the most laziest person, because he will find out the easiest solution for that difficult problems. Every problem, every issue that we see, it's not an issue, it's an opportunity to go further. If we keep seeing it and identifying ideas from others, you will see how everybody is going to come up further. I'm sure you all know about Kaizen, right? It's one of the quality term that is being used. You do some Kaizen, have Kaizen box in your institution. Encourage the person who is giving those beautiful ideas, right? Do like that, okay? Keep doing self-assessment. A department assesses their faculty. Another department assesses another department. One college assesses another college within the same university. We are not competing. We are trying to see where are the areas to improve, what can I take back to my institution and also apply upon. Like that, if we keep doing, it becomes a self-improvement. I go to physiology department and I find the physiology department to be having number of funded projects, good collaboration with the clinical departments, good number of publication. And I am from the pharmacology department who has gone to physio department to review. Won't I now take that idea from physiology department to my department back to see that if physio can link with clinical department, why did I not make my department tie up with them? Can I not work with the clinical department to come up with number of collaborative research projects? Can I not publish articles? That sort of, it is not pitting one against the other in an unhealthy way, but putting one over the other in a healthy way, so that you see to it like, next time I'm going to put all the departments together and present it in my college council meeting. This department has done 4 webinars. This department has 2 student projects, 1 funded project, 3 publication in index journal. And that department scores highest in our college. Next, the other department would say that my department should be there next. That sort of continuous improvement should be there in our organization. Involve the students in many facets, right from the way a classroom to be organized, to the tools that needs to be used, to the library books that they want, not just restricted to the hostel menu, right? They involve them in many of these things. In some of the institution, in board of studies, alumni are involved. They bring in so much back to innovate the curriculum, involve the student participation. Always keep doing this dry run of internal audit. It could be with your own core committee members. It could be with external IQAC members or members from quality of other institution to do your audit. Keep doing this academic and administrative audit, or otherwise called as AAA. Do it at least annually with internal faculty, internal staff members, at least once in 3 years with external members. This helps you in improving quality. As you do it, IQAC can come up with IQAC newsletter with which you're going to showcase the best within your organization, best from other organization, new things that has come up in quality, or some new process that you think it could be disseminated across. When I say newsletter, it need not be print. It could be an e-newsletter which IQAC can bring up, right? Each one that I have said, we would be seeing in detail in the second half. I just mentioned each one of them. Every part. It's just not an individual giving his data. It is not just from the department, not from the college alone, not from the administrators, admission section, finance, maintenance, library, students' data, alumni data, your educational unit data, or your examination wing. You can see that why NAC contributes 70% of its assessment to this data, because it's huge. You're having so much of data, but please minute it. When you're minuting it, what is the metric? What is the status of the metric in our last meeting? What's our current status? Can I set a benchmark or a target where I need to achieve? What would be the probable method? What is my timeline for achievement? In the next meeting, have I achieved it? How many that I discussed in this meeting did I achieve? Meet the timeline, make another column, or make this one itself achieve, partially achieved, not commenced. Keep making your minutes like this. You will see this minute cannot go as NC in every section. Each section, you should have keep going on and on and on. Okay. So IQAC is just not framing policies. It disseminates the policies and the best practices, coordinates the activities as much as possible. It's not that IQAC needs to do everything. IQAC can coordinate with the educational unit. IQAC can coordinate with the infrastructure wing. IQAC can coordinate with the library. It's coordinating. It's not IQAC doing all by itself. IQAC can coordinate with the research section. A research methodology workshop, IPR workshop needs to be conducted. It need not be under IQAC banner, but IQAC can tell research section, you need to conduct 2 IPR workshops. At least 30% of our faculty should have been trained in IPR. So the directive goes from IQAC and the research section executes it. Okay, we can keep making it like that, because one member from the research cell is also a core committee member of your IQAC. Okay, keep getting feedback from all the stakeholders, review, analyze, threadbare analyze it back to the IQAC. See if your policy need to be again reframed. Keep going into this loop again and again. It's not just a loop, it's a spiral, right? It's just, I'm not going to go over and over again the same problem. This problem is over, I'm going to go to the next level, go to the next level, go to the next level. You will see that our circle is not an isolation. We have already reached some of the top premier institutions in our country with what we have achieved in every facet. Okay, so that means every self-assessment I do, my quality improves. Again, self-assessment, my quality improves. Then decide, am I ready to go for accreditation? So how was all this possible? Only one thing, introspect. As an individual, I need to introspect. As a department needs to introspect. As a college needs to introspect as much as possible. Okay, so we just need to keep introspecting in every aspect. Each one of us needs to introspect and see if I need to change, where I need to change. I'm sure this is a place where all of us have a problem. Change effort don't require permission. It just needs a will and a want to change. Some passionate people and some people from the top to protect them so that they are able to bring out the change in the organization. Start it small, then you grow bigger. Okay, it's not like when we keep our ladder is not spaced far off. They're spaced very close by. Only then I can scale up. If one is here, the next step is here, I can't go. But I have 3 intermittent steps. I definitely reach the top easily. Small steps are required. For every step, the people whom you select are the key. Have your manpower ideally selected. So your structure, format. So from top, I will not say working is always from down to top, but the protection is from the top to bottom. Protection is required. Invest on your human resource. Give them the political environment. When I say political environment, the liberty and the autonomy to do it. and be very symbolic also. When I say symbolic, a pat on the back is required even for the dean of the institution, right? Then what is left for a tutor or a lecturer or a cleaner in the institution? Everybody needs a pat on the back. Be very symbolic. When anybody is a change maker in your organization, right? It could be in any form. Best dressed admin staff, put the photograph. The best contributing department, give some amount of autonomy, increased fund for that department for that quarter. Make it symbolic in some way or other. Okay. These 4 frames are always required for change: a structural frame, a human resource, a political frame, and a symbolic frame. Work on all these things. You're sure to make a change happen. Quality actually get imbibed or imprinted in every action of a person. So when I say IQAC, it's just not self-evaluation and assessment and then accreditation. We have to sustain the grade that we have got. It's just not enough for us to sustain. Probably first cycle we get accredited, second cycle we sustain at least that grade, but from the third cycle onwards, scale up. Scale up to a level where you become the benchmark for at least minimum 30% of the metric. This institution is the benchmark. Make like that. So scale up carefully. Okay. So what's required with an IQAC is the PDCA is definitely required, but don't keep this bar. This will make you stagnate. Just move this bar further and further up so that you keep growing and growing in your quality. I've achieved A. Is that sufficient? So many others have come to A. Can I grow up? Can I go to A+? Can I be on the top of the area ranking? Can I become much more relevant to the society? Can I do this? Can I do that? Keep growing up and up. I love this. All of us will say that survival of fittest was what Darwin said. No. Darwin said the one most responsive to change only survives. So let's be that institution which is responsive to change. Okay. Over to the organizers. Can I stop here now?
Yes, ma'am. If you want, you can continue for another 5 minutes, or else we can wind up for the second half.
Okay. If there are any, I think I wish to wind up here for this part because I'll get this as my first part. If there are any questions here, that 5 minutes we can spend for the questions also.
Yes, sure, ma'am. So participants, do you have any questions? You can put it in the chat box. So any doubts or clarifications, please post your questions on chat box. Thank you. Thank you for your feedbacks.
Thank you for those encouraging words. We will go in depth into each of it in our next part. Are there any questions that you have for me for now?
So thank you. Now we will have a very brief session about ISO 21001-2018, that is Educational Organization Management System. So for this session, Mr. Jayakrishnan, a senior lead auditor, would take the session. So he's the senior lead auditor working with TÜV for the last 14 years, involved in audits for ISO 9001, 14001, 18001, 45001, 41001, and also for ISO 21001, that is Educational Organization Management System, both in India as well as in abroad. So we welcome you here, sir. You can take over the session now. Jayakrishnan, sir.
Yeah. Very good morning, all of you. I am Jayakrishnan from TÜV. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Yeah. I'll just quickly run through a presentation on ISO 21001 standard. So are you able to see my screen?
Not it, sir.
Mobile.
No, sir. No, sir.
One second. Now you're able to see?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yeah, visible. Fine.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks once again for the
Not
opportunity.
visible. No,
Sorry?
sir. No, sir.
Not visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir. We can continue.
Yeah, sure.
Now it is visible.
Fine, fine. Thank you. So, about UOMS is the Educational Organization Management Standard called as ISO 21001, 2018 version. So I'm just quickly running through. It's a 15-minute session. I quickly run through, give a glimpse of ISO 21001 standard requirement. Basically, about I am from TV Sud. Because my introduction has happened already.
Sir, sorry to state, your slide is not visible. Can you click on double click on your frame that you have selected now?
Now? Now is it visible?
No, the slide is not visible, sir. The folder, it's showing just the folder.
One moment, I'll just click on that.
Yes.
Now, madam?
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Once I go into probably presentation mode is taking time. Fine now?
Yes, sir, absolutely fine.
Fine. Okay, thank you. So this is a presentation. Of course, I am representing TÜV South Asia certifying body. Of course, about TV Sud, it's a 150-year-old company having its origin from Germany. It's called as Technical Inspection Association in English, which is abbreviated as TÜV, Technischer Oberweisen Verein, actually. And we have about 17,000 employees across the globe in 600 locations and headquartered in Germany. Regions covered is Western Europe, Central Western Eastern Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific, and Americas. And this is our international presence across the globe as a certifying body. And in India, of course, we are 100% owned subsidiary of TÜV Sud. And established as TV Sud Bahrain in Germany and converted as subsidiary in 1999. And it was earlier called as Sudashland in India, so TV Sudashland in India, and now it got converted to TV Sud South Asia. We got 28 offices in India, including Bangladesh, and 15 laboratories covering various testings, and have got 1,100 employees with more than 10,000 customers for various services what we cater to. So coming about the agenda for this meeting is for the Educational Organization Management System, which will comprise of introduction to UMS, key features of UMS, principles of UMS, benefits and roadmap for certification, which will in turn help you in the NAC accreditation. So UMS, I just quickly run through the what are the features and the principles and the benefits, which would really help you in the long run. As an educational institution, as an organization, we can go for various accreditations. This facilitates you actually. Okay. Coming with the standard is the Educational Organization Management System 2018 version got released, and basically this version, it is applicable to any organization using a curriculum support, the development of competence through teaching, learning, or research, regardless of the type, size, or the method of delivery, including professional training departments which core business is not, where core business is not education. I can quote some example. It's not only limited to educational institution, it can be for even other service sector. For example, banking industry, they got a training division where the professional training department will be carrying out training for their new product or for the employees who join the organization. So there the training will be a department as such. Those departments, of course, the core business is not the banking sector. The core business is not education; it's only banking. Where one of the department of the banking can be certified for educational organization management system standard. So in that way, it streamlines their business activity in terms of delivering to their customer, in terms of training to their internal customers, their employees, and to the end output to the public as a institution which has got a system in place. Fine. So that's how it can help, and it's applicable to any organization. Fine. So coming about key features of UMS, it's a 360-degree process approach standard with
சொல்லுங்க
a
சத்யா.
risk-based thinking,
சொல்லுங்க சத்யா.
with learning outcome, career prospects, and social responsibility. Emphasis on special need education, including curriculum modification, admission criteria with transparency on admission decision with traceability, protection and transparency of learner data, data integrity and data protection. See, there is one standard which you know very well. It's ISO 9000.
We are the first institution to
ISO 9000 is quite common for most of the education institutions who are undergone.
Okay.
This standard is exclusively
Vinayaka
for
Mission, sir. Pannitama.
organization management standard. Basically, focus only on education institutions delivering the learning outcome, where the learning outcome is coming. Fine. So educational institution, ISO is common for any institution, even a product manufacturer of educational aids. For example, a person who is manufacturing teaching aids, he can also get certificate for ISO 9000. But 21000 speaks about learning outcome. So only the organization which delivers education as a service, they can only get certificate for ISO 21000. And it is a very holistic approach is there in this whole standard, which helps the organization to go to the next level. Okay. So the emphasis is there on special need education. For example, children are a candidate with a special need, having some sort of physical challenge. So probably he can get into this, he can get benefited through this UMS standard, because any organization certificate for UMS, they have to follow the criteria for special need education. So what are the requirements for a special need child or a special need student? How this need to be done? Like somebody will have a hearing disability or something like a dyslexia, some sort of deficiencies, like all those things like speech therapy wherever it's required. So educational curriculum is being modified to suit those requirements. So even for the facility provided in the institution, they have to be given special chairs and other facilities, including the restroom, where they need to satisfy, they need the requirements of the particular candidate who has got a special need. Right? And admission criteria also has got a very good requirement being defined here, like there should be clear clarity on the transparency on the admission decision for a particular candidate. So it should have a traceability also. Somebody is being admitted in some degree course or diploma course, the organization has to justify how the admission has happened, the criteria based on which the decision on the admission is being given to a particular candidate. So in that way, it is really helpful. And protection and transparency of learner data, like learner data could be like your mark sheets, answer sheets, answer scripts, or any credentials of the learner. Everything has to be kept with integrity and with data protection in a safe environment, and it should not be disclosed to any external agencies without the consent of the on a particular candidate or the student. So that way, it really helps as a standard. Right? So coming to the principles of UMS, it is built on 11 principles. One is which focus on learners and other beneficiaries. Second one is visionary leadership. So the leadership has to have a drive to really push through this and implement the system. Then engagement of the people. Say every individual has to be engaged. So engagement of people will be all the interested parties and the stakeholders will get engaged in the development of the institution. Process approach, of course, process approach I have told, like every process will have its systemic approach, like plan, do, check, and act, like what we have in any management standard. So those process approach will be that. So it will be a holistic overview how the system is going to get integrated into various departments, processes, including the support activities, and holistic view of the overall organization in terms of service to the to the learners. Right? Then improvement. So every area, potential area, stakeholders have to come forward with some sort of improvement, which will overall improve the benefit to the society. Then evidence-based decision. Everything is through documentation information, which is evidence-based based on only the decision can be taken on anything like evaluation of criteria for a student or anything related to the co-curricular or extracurricular activity. Everything is getting covered in this evidence-based decision. Then relationship management is nothing but like different stakeholders, how they integrate and work together to form a proper framework within which the organization is able to deliver the education and other social responsibility requirements in a better way. Fine. And social responsibility, ultimately, any candidate or a student going out of the institution has to be socially responsible. As an institution, what is that we inculcate as a habit or as a culture to the student is the social responsibility, which gets imbibed into this EOMS standard. So the institution has to incorporate these social responsibility activities and try to inculcate to the student and deliver it to them. So when they come out as citizens tomorrow, they should be able to really give the right output to the society. Fine. Accessibility and equity, accessibility to various requirements and equal equity among all. So every information shared across, of course, kept confidential. Every facility available has to be made accessible to everyone. Every resource available has to be made accessible to everyone and should be equally distributed. Uniformity need to be maintained and education is equal for all. So that is what is the message here. Ethical conduct. So of course, any business or any requirement of any activity has to be ethical. And here the ethical conduct has got a more emphasis in terms of education. So they have to be a good citizen, as I told, like a social responsible person. So ethical conduct is also being covered as part of the one of the principles of this UOMS standard. So all the ethics have to be taught when during the course of the education. And the staff and the learners, and apart from that, the co-curricular activity people, the people are all the other stakeholders, part of the overall educational institution, has to be also function ethically to ensure that everything is being delivered in a proper way. Then data security. So data security, basically every information which is coming inside the organization institution and every information going out has to be secured in a database, in a soft form or a hard form, in whichever way, and has to be protected, secured with high level of protection. Even the credentials of the students or the candidates, the mark sheets and other things during the course of the study, the output of their studies like answer papers, project work, dissertation, all those things have to be kept confidential in a safe and a secured manner so that it doesn't go into the wrong hands or doesn't get disclosed to any external agencies. And safe here has to be like, it should be really kept safe in the sense like away from pilferage, from fire or any other destruction, it has to be protected. So those things are being again emphasized as part of principle. So these are the 11 principles based on which the whole standard is being developed and it is being implemented across the institutions. So you'll find the real essence when you start implementing it in your organization. And coming to the benefits overall, so it gives increased value for the learners and other beneficiaries. So beneficiaries could be parents, could be the society as such, could be the employer. So many beneficiaries are there. Increased ability to respond to demands of interested parties. The demand requirement, the market requirements, the current scenario requirements, everything can be met through the this standard. Then finally, increased satisfaction of learners and other beneficiaries. That also gets increased. And above all, the reputation of the organization. As an organization, when you get 21,000 certified, when you follow all these principles, definitely as an outcome, you'll find the usefulness of it and the reputation of the organization in the society also improves. And learners' motivation and engagement. So you keep on imbibing good things so that the learner gets motivated through, they have a sense of feeling that they should always get into the next level, go into the next level and improve themselves. And more engagement happens between the learners, the faculty, the teaching, non-teaching, everyone, I would say. Like, so that also gets helped actually. So the interpersonal skills also gets improved actually, in other words. Acquisition and development of competencies, of course, definitely the competency in any education institution improves by having all these principles in place of the UOMS. You can definitely improve the competencies, not only for the learners as well as for the staff, like through the staff development program, whatever you have been doing so far. Wider access to education for learners with different learning styles. So different methodologies. The pedagogue can also be streamlined and made according to the requirements with different needs and different backgrounds. So people come from different societies, different backgrounds, and join a particular institution. So the educational institution can transform themselves into the areas where they need to really and tried to draw a common platform through which the learning outcome can be tailor-made for the requirements for different background people, so that ultimately you get into a mode wherein everybody gets the equal amount of knowledge and experience to the delivery of the education service. Fine. Then enhance learner personal development initiatives and creativity. So definitely personal development is something which is ultimately required today at the end of the day, apart from the competencies related to the curriculum. The initiatives and creativity, these are the things which are the real parameters which is now really required, is a yardstick or a measure for any employer for assessing a student or a candidate before taking him for the employment or maybe for higher studies. So this one thing, this personal development is also getting enhanced through the this methodology of UOMS standard. The effectiveness and efficiency in meeting the educational organization objectives. So every organization has its own objectives driven by vision and mission. So all these things gets improved through this UOMS standard. One moment. So now then improved communication between the levels and functions of the organization. So the communication channels also being established. What is the internal, external communication? How the organization is going to communicate? Who is going to communicate? What is the mode of communication? All those things also get streamlined. Then alignment between the requirements of the people engaged by the organization, those serving it. How the whole thing happens, how the people work in together, so that the requirements who are in the engaged in the organization is being delivered. Okay, so alignment has to happen between, so the education gets delivered smoothly to the alignment between the people who are engaged in the whole process of education service. Development and improvement of the capability of the organization and its people to deliver the desired results. So that also the capability of the organization to deliver the desired results also is getting improved. Then involvement of people in improvement activities. So as I told earlier, like the principle says, like improvement is one of the principles. So improvement has to happen across the organization in every sphere of activity. The improvement is a continuous process. Improvement cannot, it will not end up somewhere. So improvement keeps on going. That's what we call in system as continual improvement. So it will have some crust and trough, like ups and downs, but improvement has to happen throughout. So some challenges will be there. Definitely you have to overcome those challenges and go into the improvement continuously. Then enhancing the personal development initiatives and creativity and enhancing the people's satisfaction. As I told you earlier, that also gets benefited through these principles. Then trust and collaboration gets enhanced throughout the organization, because everybody work in tandem, everybody knows their responsibility, everybody sees their levels get elevated in sense like they feel pride of having the system in place, and they try to work together, and mutual trust improves between the people who are working in, say, within the organization and among the students as well, learners as well as the faculty. Increased attention to shared values and culture throughout the organization. So values and culture also, that is also a requirement, order of the day, which also need to get improved apart from the regular competency improvement. So those things also gets improved. Then enhance the ability of the to focus effort on key process and opportunities for improvement. Consistent and predictable results through system of alignment of processes, that also gets improved. Optimized performance through effective process management. So the process management gets improved, the performance gets improved because of the effective process management. So every process, again, we streamline what is the input, what is the output, what is the deliverable we know. So by using the resources available, the infrastructure available, and reducing the cross-functional barriers between various team members, we try to work in tandem and see that the performance gets improved or optimized through the effective process management. That is what we call as a optimized performance through effective process management. Then enabling the organization to provide confidence to interested parties related to its consistency, effectiveness, and efficiency. So whatever we deliver, so the interested party who are all in this, who are all the stakeholders, the whole process. So the organization's ability to Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, suddenly it got muted actually. Allowing the organization to demonstrate its compliance with the legal and statutory requirements. So this is one of the things which is really important for any business organization. It's a business requirement, it's a business risk for an educational institution sense, like the compliance obligation, the legal and regulatory requirements have to be fulfilled every now and then to see that everything goes smoothly. So because so many candidate students are studying, so the organization's ability to demonstrate its compliance to legal requirements. So we need to have a system in place. What are the legal requirements? We need to identify how we are going to go by that. What are the latest regulations coming up? And are we following all those latest regulations and fulfilling those requirements? All those things had to be determined through this. And UMS forms a platform again to see that this is being ensured. Okay. So this really helps, and your business risk is getting you're not going to any business risk. Okay. Fine. So moving on the next one. Improved process performance. Finally, every process has to get improved. Organization's capability and customer satisfaction. So here the learners are the customers. The parents are the customers. End customers are the parents. The employer is also a customer here, I would say. The employer who is going to engage the particular candidates. So everybody, ultimately, the end user is also a customer here. So everybody will see the process performance by following this. The organization which is getting certified, which follows the system, will have the end output deliverables, which improves the capability to deliver the service and give the final satisfaction to the learners, to the parents, and to the employers, and to the society on the whole. Fine. Then enhance focus on root cause investigation determination. So any issues are there, you identify issues, you take actions, take corrective action with a root cause, and then the preventive action also. And wherever possible, preventive action and corrective action holistically. So this also gives more focus when you follow the system. The ability to anticipate and react to any internal and external risks and opportunities. So it is ISO 9000 is also a risk-based thinking, but over and above here, more and more stakeholders are getting engaged, and you go into various parameters like from curriculum development, special needs, all those stuff you are going to it, and we could see the real risk and opportunities identified during the process, and we try to address that so that the organization business risk is getting reduced, and we deliver the right output to the students or to the learners. Fine. Then enhanced consideration of both incremental and breakthrough improvement. So what are the improvements? You consider all the improvements which are happening. It happens step by step through incremental way, or through a breakthrough, sudden improvement which happens. So you have to consider all those things. All those things get benefited through these principles what we follow in the UMS. Then use of learning for improvement. So you improve the use of learning for improving on the whole. Again, in improvement in all the spheres again. And drive for innovation. This is again order of the day. So innovation is something which is a word which we cannot forget, which has to happen today. Everything cannot be a standstill. The drive for innovation happens ultimately by following implementing this system. Then improved decision-making process. Then assessment of process performance, because you make because all the data are available, your decision making makes very comfortable for you to make decision and simplifies that. Then improved operational effectiveness and efficiency. Then improved assessment of process performance and ability to achieve objectives. All these things are embedded into it. Then ability to review and challenge and change opinions and decisions. So you got all the information with you. What are the challenges we have? According to the challenge and according to the review mechanism, whatever we define, what are the opinions and decisions based on various inputs from various people, we can take a decision based on that. Then increase the ability to demonstrate the effectiveness of the past decisions. So your past decisions, everything you keep on record, whatever has happened in the past, all the experience gained, knowledge sessions shared or knowledge gain, everything will be, we can take it as a learning and help to improve the effectiveness of the overall performance. Fine. And relevant interested parties also enhance performance of the organization through relevant interested parties, through responding to opportunities and constraints related to the interested party. Then common understanding of objectives and values among the interested parties. Capability to create, increased capability to create value for interested parties. So you take the value the interested parties and try to improve their the value for them, and by sharing the resource and competencies available, and managing the quality related risk, what I have told earlier, like internal and external risk. And you have a well-managed supply chain that provides a stable flow of products and services. So this supply chain is not only the physical product, whatever you get as part of educational material. Supply chain could be like a visitor, visiting lecture or any guest lectures which is happening. This is also part of supply chain as far as education service is concerned. Anything you get outside from the service provider would also be part of supply chain management. And the stable flow of the product and services in the supply chain happens through this standard And finally, coming to the last one, improved reputation across society, enhancing the relationship with all the interested parties. Then cost savings because you become more responsible and efficiently use the resource. Risk management due to sustainable practices. The ability to attract, retain, and maintain the satisfied staff. This is again a requirement order of the day. So the staff has to get the motivation to really continue, retain them, and a wider pool of potential learners also you get. Then increase satisfaction finally among the learners and the special need children. Enhance ability to meet the requirements of other beneficiaries. A diverse learner population, which through cross-fertilization of ideas improves innovation and learning. So it helps to finally have a cross-cultural improvement. Like you get areas of inputs from various quarters, try to improve the innovation and the and the ability to innovate. So all those things are part of the learning exercise through this UMS standard. Fine. So finally, image of the organization gets enhanced, staff gets motivated, morale gets improved, enhanced relationship with all interested parties, integrity of research process and results also happens. Fine. Then with respect to documentation, we are protecting the documentation through the data protection. Any deletion or unauthorized modification can be avoided. Are you able to hear me? Gaining confidence from learners and other interested parties, enhance evidence through decision making due to confidence in data sources, ease of retrieval of information when needed, improved response to emergency situations. All these things are getting covered, getting benefited through the whole standard. So finally, I am just trying to map. So whatever we have, I have given a glimpse of your 21001, how it is going to really help in NAAC accreditation. So the critical criteria for assessment of NAAC comprise of curriculum aspects, teaching and learning evaluation, then research consultants in extension, infrastructure and learning, student support and profession, governance, leadership and management, and institutional values and best practice. All these 7 criteria are getting already covered through the ISO 21000, whatever I talked all about. So it is a lot of benefits you could see by implementing and following the UMS standard. It facilitates you to go for NAAC accreditation. So once you're through with this 21000, NAAC accreditation will be a soft cake. It will be just a soft walkthrough, a cake walkthrough, I would say. So you can just run through that and easily go through the NAAC accreditation process. Fine. So for ISO 21000 certification, of course, you can go in for, of course, it comes under ISO series of standard, coming under International Accreditation Forum. A lot of accreditation bodies are there under which this standard is being issued. A lot of certifying bodies are there to certify that. And applicant has to, the organization has to apply first. Evaluation and proposal will be given by the evaluation done by the certification body in terms of application. And finally, the certification body will give a proposal. Then mutually the order acceptance happens with the auditee organization, that is with the organization which is going to get certified. You will have a stage 1 audit done for a documentation review for readiness for going for stage 2 process certification audit. Then stage 2 audit is being planned on a mutually agreed date once we're okay with stage 1. Then stage 2, the audit will be carried out, and if everything is meeting the standard requirement, you'll be going ahead for the recommendation for certification. Audit will be report will be submitted by the respective auditors, and it will go for an accreditation board review with the certifying body review. And finally, the certifying body releases certificate if everything is meeting the requirement. And it will be followed once the certificate is issued. You will have validity for 3 years, and you have to undergo necessarily a surveillance audit annually and complete the process. So this is really a good standard, which you'll find, because I have just run through quickly, but it needs a lot of time to really explain. I've just give a glimpse of it. So it will really help you in the long run as an institution to go for various accreditation, face any type of audit, any type of challenges, even a surprise audit also can be taken if you really follow the UMS standard holistically. So really beneficial to any organization. You can think about and you can really appreciate if you are able to go through the ISO 21000 standard. Fine. So that's it from my side. Thank you. I'll just quickly run through because I have just overshoot the time. It is 11:24. I've taken more than the time's not being allotted to me. Anyway, thanks to the team. Thanks for patiently listening to me. I have to rush through and complete the process.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful awareness session, sir.
Thank you. Hope we'll meet again in a very detailed session soon. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Let's arrange soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we would proudly say that we are the first organization in line with Chifsuit South Asia Limited to provide accreditation of ISO 21001-2018 certification to Vinayaga Missions Research and Foundation in South India. This is the first time in South India an educational institution got ISO 21001 certification. So Madagi ma'am, you can continue with your second half of the session, ma'am. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it was a nice run through that they gave us about the ISO certification. So makes most of my job relatively easy. Sir has just listed the 7 criteria or metric under which NAC assesses us. In each of these metric, we have the qualitative metrics, or we call it as QLM, and the quantitative metrics at the QNM. For want of time, I would be skipping certain things. Please pardon me for that. I'm sure those who are familiar or just read through the NAC self-study manual would be familiar that the first criteria or the curricular aspects looks into a few things. These things were also mentioned now in the ISO. I hope you will be able to remember them. Okay, but the new addition in this manual is definitely this part, the curricular enrichment, making them sensitized to the cross-cutting issue, gender, environment, sustainability, and most importantly, the value-added courses. Now, as see how I've planned this is, I'm not going to tell you about each of these things because it is self-explanatory in the manual. I'm just going to say, like, where can IQAC pitch it? What should be our role in as IQAC members? So for this criteria, probably, okay, IQAC could suggest or develop some of these need-based, socially relevant programs. The relevance in the curriculum, we have to see to it that the departments get the feedback and appropriately modify the curriculum as and when required or mandated. And complete documentation has to be there. What were the feedback obtained? Was it deliberated in the departmental meeting with experts, both internal and external? Was it presented in the board of studies? Was it approved in the academic council? Was it presented at the BOM finally to come into the rule? So like that, every flow of it has to be taken into. Okay. As the IQAC, through the workshops, are making people know about what are the enrichment that each department or course program providing department can do. What do you mean by interdisciplinary? What do you mean by ICT? What do you mean by cafeteria approach? What do you mean by skill-based program? What do you mean by vocational education? Sensitize faculty on these things. Everything could be done not as lectures, but as a training mode. Somebody who has had the National Skill Development Council, they have utilized their service, that portal, to offer some skill-oriented courses in their institution. Please invite them to your organization. Say the nuts and bolts that are required to be a part of this NSD. And how can your department contribute to this NSD? Give them a platform where they can brainstorm with the expert so that they can submit the application next time. Can you see here? IQAC did not do it. IQAC was a catalyst in this process. If I want, what is meant by this cafeteria approach? What all could be the diverse thing that I can do? Let's take IIT as an example. How IIT has made the cafeteria approach. If you take some of the private institutions, I'm just going by the examples that I know. The Shiv Nadar University has a lot of cafeteria approach. Our age-old BITS Pilani has a lot of cafeteria approach. So can we look into what is that? What are the wide range that the students are being given? Where are the students taking predominantly? How are they using it? That is from India. Can we look into Harvard Medical School? How are they giving it? Can we give such training to our faculty so that they can implement it in our organization? I'm sure each one of us have struggled to cope up from this March to this November in this ICT. Some of us did not even have the laptop. What did we do? I don't know how many institutions did it, but do you know that as soon as this COVID came, Harvard Medical School in February sent out a survey to all its students asking them whether they had their own personal laptops. They had their own internet connection. They found 800 of their students did not have. Do you know what they did? They next rolled out the message to other students. In case you have another laptops to be shared, let's see how many we have. They got some laptops, 10% of it. Remaining thing, the Harvard Institute gave the remaining laptops for the students so that made them ready to reach the digital education from their home. It's done in a developed country. Did we do it? Most of our organization didn't do it. It's not an IQAC which did it there. Somebody taught it and they did it. These are initiatives which IQAC should have taken in our country as well. These are required, but are our teachers know about using ICT in the teaching? Can we give now an online teaching module to everybody so that they are all able to use it? Can we make it as an online workshop? Let's collaborate with the IT and the education department of an institution. Give them all the training. Let the teaching go uninterrupted. Let us make the training for our students so that the training goes uninterrupted. Think beyond what we see, right? So if we can do all these things, a curricular aspect definitely modifies. I think now this pandemic has given so much of thing like what all could be the curriculum that could be developed, which could be delivered completely online. Can we innovate our curriculum now? Because the government is giving lot of privileges for us to start online programs. Have we encashed on it? Can IQAC initiate each of the college quality cell to promote this in their departments under their college or in their college to come up with one online program at least before the next academic year? This is an initiative which IQAC should trigger upon. Institution which department which does it would definitely have so much of financial grant, so much of facility would be given. Let us make it with that carrot, right? Let's go like this for each of the aspect. I'm just skipping this. Teaching, learning, evaluation has a lot of it along with it. But most importantly, the course outcome, program outcome, POCO matching, which many of the organization are struggling to do, making the web of POCO matching. How do I match? Do I have a blueprint of my evaluation as well? Did I do the matching? Can I train my faculty how to do this POCO analysis and draw the web? How do you read the web? Because these are something which tells us where we are lacking. How do I improve upon? Leave NAC accreditation. NAC wants it, but can I improve upon? NAC does this SSS, student satisfaction survey. Can we get the satisfaction survey from our student and see where we are super good, where we are a little low, not meeting what the students want? Can we improve upon that? Let's work on those things. How do I do it that? Let's first build a teacher's capacity building. Let's make the Green Teacher Initiative, evolve innovative curriculum and environmental education a part of all our academic processes. Can we make the teachers really IT conversant? Use ICT not just for content delivery, but interactive classes. Evaluation, which could be done online, not telling that students are copying. Students will copy. Can I make my question paper in a such a way that students, even if they discuss, they cannot write it? They will have to write it only by their understanding. So that means the way a question paper is going to be set has to be modified. The way ICT could be used in our evaluation so that copying can be avoided. Making online classes interactive with the polls, with Kahoot, other things coming into our classes, making a two-way. I don't miss out. I can see somebody annotating here, Sharmila Devi. Can that annotation be stopped? Okay, these sort of a thing. How do we do it? How do we train our teachers on all these processes? Okay, these things are something which IQAC can look into. Education department can take it up into. How do we go into an open education system? Obviously, a change in mindset is required. Science cannot be taught online. We need in-person classes only. No, science can be taught online. How can we do it? Let's build the capacity for it. Let's develop strategies for it. Let's get the online licenses that are required, not use any free softwares for it. Let's develop the infrastructural facility plus the policies for it. How do I practice it? What will be the quality assurance that I will have? Can I master the learning outcome? Let's put all these things before we bring in an online education resource. It's a continuous development process that is required here. Every stakeholder here is required, be it the management, academic person, the education department, your library, your IT support, and the learner. Everybody has to be seamlessly integrated in it. In this article, I'll give the reference here. In this article, this change mindset did not go till the learner. We will have to reach it till the learner to say that, yes, you can do it. Okay. If I want the quality in learner education, how do I go about it? Let's make the students' prior experience, knowledge, consumption, reason for studying. Make it imperative for him first. Next, let's approach. How should the learning and studying be? That approach modification should be there. Is my course material made like that? Right? That means that's when I can have the POCO mapping done. Are my university teacher conversant in this pedagogical approach? Have I trained them? Or did I train them? Or did I send them for such training? Everything is involved in this process. The type of teaching, the learning environment that I give, I can tell the teachers have to use online mode. Where is the internet connection for the teacher? Does the teacher have an internet connectivity? Uninterrupted power supply. What are you going to do if there is going to be a power supply? Today, if the power went, what is the backup plan? Do we have such things in place? Everything should be there in this process. Next, the student perception. We have to apply all these things before we develop any new type of teaching learning methodologies, right? Everything, the approach, the facility, the capability, pedagogical thing, the environment, perception. Target everything so that you get a quality learning achieved. Okay, this is what anybody wants from any academy. If I want to put my child, I look into all these things. I look into what's the capability of the teacher. Do they have research projects? My child is not going to do research, but if there is a faculty who is doing research, that means he has the current knowledge in that area. If the faculty is publishing, that means he is not just a bench heater. He works. He's not a preacher, but he works. Everything symbolically gives some meaning to the prospective student who comes to us. Research. All of us were thinking research is only for the national institutions of repute. No. Everybody needs research. Right? Even if you put that Lakshman Rekha for the ant, it researches a new pathway to come to reach your sugar box, right? If an ant can do it, I'm taking an ant because you learn a lot from an ant. Every animal in an animal kingdom teaches so much. They innovate. You try something, you get an air-sealed box so that your sugar, no ant comes. Ant finds a way to come in. How did it come in? We don't know. We should ask the ant, right? So research and innovation. How do you do it? How do you inculcate? What can IQAC do with the research cell? Make the faculty realize, ask a question in science and technology. I'm putting science and technology because I belong to that, but it applies to all streams. Can I do it? Is it worth doing it? Does anybody need what I'm doing it? Or am I doing it just for a paper? Somebody should need what I'm doing. That should be the research, need-based research. When I'm in science, is my solution market desirable? Is it feasible? Is it viable? Automatically, it is going to get patented. You're going to have revenues generate for your institution, right? You don't need to run behind IPR. IPR will come to you if you have done a research like that. Capacity to make invisible vision visible. This is important for the top management. I see the invisible. That's required, right? High scientific temperament and excellence is a key in this process. I'm investing it today. Tomorrow I will generate zero revenue. I'm investing so much on research. Nothing will the management get. But what will the management get? I invest today on research. My research output is going to go up. As my research output is going to go up, someday I might get patent. My faculty will get visibility because my faculty was there in the 2% of the top researchers that came up now recently, which was there in all social media. If my 5 of my faculty were there, that shows my institution is good. More students will come in. What did my research get? Did it get me money? No. It brought me students from other places. That invisible vision is what is required for the top management. This research equipment is going to get zero revenue for you, but it is going to get you revenue in other processes because there were multiple paid papers that came out, products that came out, patents that came out, visibility that came in. That's the visibility that research gives. Promote academia industry interaction, collaborate, establish partnership continuum. Just not partnership, it is a continuum. That's what NAC looks for. I have an MOU on paper. No. What did this MOU get you? How many research did you do together? How many students went to that industry to get trained? How many of the industry people were partnering with you to modify your curriculum? Everything is required. Okay. University, industry is endeavored, awareness is created. There's a good involvement. Mutual support is going to be there. You can involve the industry in your sponsorship, and the partnership gets encash on the corporate social responsibility of these corporates effectively and efficiently. This is so and so organization developed research facility. So and so organization developed teaching learning media. So and so organization given scholarship for students. Develop the corporate social responsibility to this partnership continuum. Okay. What we require now is a mindset for creating the startup. Innovative ecosystem needs to be developed. Be a partner in that Atal and Arya system that the government has initiated. Develop this innovative ecosystem model. Okay. When you're doing research and R&D, shape the market, drive innovation, or create the market for the innovation capabilities that you're having. Promote and develop technology which are viable, affordable to the consumer. Okay, make it like that. Your research grows. You're going to have a market for whatever you're going to do, but definitely work with a proof of concept. Promote the startup ecosystem. So this is what your criteria 3 champions. We told, right? Each criteria we're going to have a subcommittee. This criteria subcommittee 3 is going to come up with all these things to promote research. And now this goes into IQAC, deliberated there, goes into the university development committee or your board of management, thrash it as much as you can, then put it into practice. Okay. So you will see like these things will help me get 3 patents. These things will help me get publication in high impact paper. I can at least get 20 papers in high impact journals. This is what I want. But for this, I need all these things. I've set a benchmark. I've set a target. I've made the organization know why they should invest here. Talk it. We are all salesperson too, not just the market people who are salesperson, right? Involve your students in these research processes as well. That is also required as much as your faculty empowerment or infrastructure empowerment. Modify your curriculum in such a way that every student who does an optional research gets an additional credit. He can go away with some of the papers. This is how international institutions work. I can take 2 papers and 1 research instead of taking 5 papers. Can we modify our curriculum like that? Involve them into research. If you involve UG into research, he's automatically going to enter your PG. He's going to do your PhD. You don't need to advertise for your PhD, right? Make it like that. I'm just skipping these parts because for want of time, right? Develop it. So what we need is an innovative team. Not just the problem finder. You always have a problem finder in your organization. Please take them. List out all their problems, but have a problem solver as well. A problem solver can come up with so many problems, but he can't do multiple problems. He can't solve everything. Have a problem implementation team, implementers. These are these PhD students, the young faculty, involve them into these things. Have somebody to take them all together as the top team, your R&D team, your integrators. Don't belittle this problem solver. He is a problem solver because you didn't see the problem. He's pointing the leaks. He's pointing the pain points. Now you have somebody else at least to find a solution. Don't come with me problem. Come with me a solution. I can only tell you a problem. There are very few who can come with a problem and a solution. But if they are not there, don't belittle them. Please involve them. You will get some solution from some other corner. Develop your innovation ecosystem beautifully. Okay. So how am I going to do? Supportive and rewarding research environment. Encourage consultancy projects. Support in the execution of that project. And definitely sustainability and maintenance of research infrastructure is what is required, right? I'm a researcher and I can't take 10 lecture hours per week like another faculty, but your KRA requires me also to take 10 like the other person who is not doing research. Are you right? Because I'm having a funded project, cut down 5 lecture hours from that faculty, right? 5 lecture hours, but his research output should definitely be there. Make his KRA modified to that, right? Make his API score different. Make it like that so that everybody works on their expertise. He's a good teacher, but he's a fantastic researcher. Give him few classes, but give him more time for his research. Give him more time to go out, go into the field, do his survey, everything, extra leave for those things. Some modification are required if you want to develop this research ecosystem in your organization. Have these MOUs. MOUs bring so much into you, right? How do you develop these things? Invite faculty, invite students, make your faculty also go the other side, make your students also go the other side. Let it not be only one way, okay? Network. If you want to grow, explore opportunity. If you want to grow exponentially, network. You will see that within a short time, you grow faster. I have partnered with the Ivy League. Your name goes up automatically with that Ivy League. For the Ivy League to partner you, you should be having one pedestal at least. The Ivy League institution is not going to come to you. Now the government has made Ivy Leagues, international institution come to us. Can we cash in on that opportunity? Can we see what is my niche area with which I can form this network, develop this network? Okay. Our goal has to be in this outreach globally, outreach locally as well. Don't leave out your society. When your NAC team or any accrediting team is going to come to your institution with roads which are all potholes, what have you done? Your institution is built with marble, beautiful roads, but you could not put a road on the path leading to your institution. Are we not committed to the institutions, to locality where we are? Can we make our students involved? Can we involve the local panchayat also in our decision making? Know what they want. The Swachh Bharat initiative, so many initiatives that have come with the government. Can we make our institution contribute to the society where we are? You will see your society also grows up. As your society grows up, your institution value also grows up. Mutually, we are reaching each other. Okay, as much as possible, reach out. The small good things you do, it's not advertisement for you. It is an advertisement for others to also emulate you. I've seen recently some of the organizations have started to give extra merit scholarship for students of Pulwama attack, of this attack, or something like that. Children of these martyrs, right? Children of those who died in these frontline workers, in these COVID warriors children. It was an advertisement for that institution, but can we take one good line from it? Can I also do that commitment to the society like that? Can I make the social media to the best use as much as possible? Now we can definitely do. Everybody is on the social media. Make the right noise at the right place at the right time. So your outreach is there. You don't need to think, what do I put here in the outreach? My students can be a part of training Anganwadis how to use Digital India. how to use WhatsApp to train the midwives, to train the other pregnant women. How do they take care of themselves in this pandemic when they cannot come to the hospital? Enable them. That becomes your outreach, right? There are some institutions which do caring for senior citizens as one of the NCC activity. Can we do something like that? There are some institutions, dental institutions, which go for the dental hygiene of the prisoners. Some amount of commitment is coming from people. Can we make something like that? In this way, you are not contributing alone there. You are making a sense of responsibility among the students. I know the organization where I belong to, really proud to say that my institution alumni have set up the first alumni, medical student alumni, which set up online consultation as soon as COVID struck. And they got the best alumni award as well. Can we do it like that? Now, how is it possible? Only if I have inculcated the sense of responsibility in the student. Suddenly, you cannot say that youth of these days are not responsible. What did we do as institution in bringing that sense of responsibility in them? Let's work on that. Infrastructure, it's completely management because they build the infrastructure. But what are we doing it? Are we doing effectively using it? Is it physical facility disabled friendly, eco-friendly? Am I maintaining it eco-friendly as well? How do I develop resources for my library? Am I making my alumni generously contribute for one cell of my library developed by alumni? Can I have some earn while you learn options in the library? You have it in the West, right? Putting the books back into the shelf, that pays for the students, right? Can I use the students for these things also, giving small money for them also? Can I extend library beyond library working hours so that the footfall into the library increases as well? I have many things. I'm not going to go into them. Okay. I love this part. Everybody wants to increase footfall into the library, but we say library is a silence area. Can we have a no silence area in the library with some IT facilities there where the students can use it? Those who don't have good infrastructure facility use it to deliberate, to discuss, to develop a movie there, right? That's the place where they can movie screening room. They can develop short movies, which could be used for educational material. A Skype room, a presentation practice room. There are so many online softwares that have come like Urkund and other things. Have I made training for my faculty on using it? Training for faculty and students. These are all roles of library, right? My infrastructure has to be disabled friendly. Okay. Or I'll say Divyang friendly. Everybody has to be inclusive. Okay. Not just having just RAM, crash or anything. We saw ISO certification, how even dyslexic children friendly our teaching has to be. Can I make all these things possible? Yes, certain courses or programs like medicine doesn't allow some disabled children to be a part of it. But can I make the other things that are inclusive, not only to the faculty, even to the, and not only to the students, even to the faculty? In one of the institutions where I went for assessment, I could see some of the jobs were exclusive for the third gender. That was their best practice. Can we be inclusive in that process as well? Let's try all these things, okay? Build it safely as much as possible with a lot of mock drills. Please teach even your researcher how to use the radioactive and chemicals. I'm sure all of you still remember how it happened in Delhi with the radioactive chemicals which were disposed of from a research laboratory, causing a big damage in the society. Teach him on all these safety aspects as well. When we go to students, these are our primary stakeholders. How do I do it? Enrich them. Make their time in your institution the best time, so that when you call them for an alumni meet, they should come. When you call them for an alumni contribution, they should come. When they are asked for a feedback about your institution, they should be ready to give. That should be the impact that you have created in the time that they are with you. If there is an alumni meet with the NAC assessors, you can't have the hall quarter full. It should be overfilled. That shows your alumni are ready to come when your institution is racking. Have we made like that? We only make the small rooms. Can we make our teachers mentors, rather than as teachers? Can we be teachers? Somebody like Amir Khan, who made in Tare Zameen Par, just make a small shift from what, how, why, who. Can we make the shift in our teaching? Another thing, who, why, what, how. Just make the shift like that. You will see the students love you so much. I think that's what each one of us as teachers want. Every bench student is required. As our people's president said, the best brain in the nation is not always found in the first bench. It's probably found in the last bench because they know how to handle problems. Right? Use innovative methods. I'll just take another 10 minutes to wind up, please. Okay. Use innovative methods to support your students, as many as possible. Okay. But please bring in the sense of nation building in them. A pride that I am an Indian should be there in each and every student of ours. Support them. Just don't read success stories to them, but tell them, even your failures, share with them. Tell them how these failures you overcame it. How the entire institution was broken, but how did you build the institution can also come from the management. Involve them in the committees. Make the website as impactful as possible. Involve the students. Make your campus a ragging-free campus. As in ISO, they said, make your institution internationally relevant so that you are in such a way that you have both faculty and students coming from across the globe to you. But please don't belittle. You will have to be socially relevant as well. Okay? Give scholarships. It could be for the economically deprived, physically challenged, or the meritorious. Anybody, please give them the scholarship. Have a platform where they are ready to share their grievances and they are redressed appropriately. Your student's progression is your institution progression. Every success story of your student is what you have succeeded. I'm sure in NIRF, they don't ask anything. Where are your students placed? Where have they gone for higher education? How many have become entrepreneurs? How much have they contributed to your organization? For all these things, they are your brand ambassadors. Make them not just as cultural bodies. Use the students to do everything in your organization. Make them feel they are a part of your organization in every system. I'm skipping all these things part. I just wish to tell this. Alumni success and engagement are importantly becoming a weightage across all grading and ranking, not just NAC and NIRF, even Forbes proprietary Grateful Graduate Index uses happy and successful alumni in two ways. Your 7-year median gift that the students who have enrolled with you have given to your institution, and how much of your alumni have given back, not how much money, how many of them have given back. Make that as a something, give back to your institution. Involve them in everything. Okay. Skipping all of them, they are your torch bearers. Involve them in everything. Your institutional governance is the best thing, of which your IQAC is a part of it. We work together from top down, bottom up approach for certain things, top down for certain things. Where should you be autocratic? Where should you be open-minded? Please have an effective, seamless communication in the governance. Everything is foolproof. It is transparent. It is not something occurring in a close. Somebody has got an increment or a promotion. Why should be very, very clear. Somebody has been fired. It should also be clear. Everything should be very clear with good welfare approaches for your teaching and non-teaching staff as well. Again, a proper planning is required so that resource mobilization or resources are effectively utilized across. I love to share this. This is from one of the talk I listened from the IIT director, Partha Pratap, IIT Kharagpur. Your traditional benchmarking actually goes in different ways. Have an appropriate strategy for everything. Attract, retain best people, invest on the right effort, and create a regeneration cycle. Have models for multiplicative growth. It could be a platform, instrument, investment, reward, leadership, or your policy. Have a rating measure, a key measure, a performance indicator. Make it clear to them before they're going to be assessed. This year assessment is going to be this. Don't tell it in December. Tell it in January or last December. If you're going to tell it today, it's going to be from January next year. This is what with which you will be assessed for 2022. Reputation of you is a reputation of your institution. Tell everything. The knowledge level should be public. Intellectual property rights should be there. What should be a trade secret? What should be a know-how? Have an incremental growth on everything. Discovery of your new knowledge. Your knowledge to theory should definitely be there. Theory to application should be there. And an innovation. Your nature of distribution does not just depend on your size, but depends on the depth, spread, and the equity. This, in a nutshell, says how an institution can go into an institution of excellence. I'm just leaving it. Another example is bark. I'm sure we cannot make a gun, but we could make an atomic bomb. We could develop rockets. One thought, why could we do these two? Nobody, no country was ready to teach us how to make the centrifuge required for making the atomic bomb. They did not teach us how to make a rocket, but we developed everything right from the nut and bolt ourselves. That's why they are coming to make their satellites to be launched by us. So that means we, as an institution, should become self-reliant. Should not depend on the government for the money always. Government money can stop anytime. Have I generated my own method to develop revenues? Let's become like that, self-reliant. Okay? Self-reliant is a key thing. The most important keyword, fail early, fail cheap, learn from failure experience, not just of you, failure experience for others. Another quote, burn the boat if you want to make a living in the island. You definitely know you cannot go back. So you will know how to make your island your paradise. Exploit through the public outreach and media. Make your students contribute. Make the corporates contribute. Make the society where you are contribute for your organization as well. But for that, you cannot just demand. You should have made them come to contribute to you. Okay, that's the impact that you should have created in each of these places. Quality and management are like the zip. We have to work together. And IQAC is that zip threader. Work with the management, with quality in your mind. Go seamlessly. Otherwise, you're going to brush, the zip is going to go off. Academic activity, your hospital services if you're a healthcare institution, your HR, your administration, or at your community. Everything develop an SOP. Okay? How do you handle your teaching and non-teaching staff? The support that you give, the encouragement that you give. Do you train your non-teaching staff to use the computer or the mobile phone effectively so that you can start to send your circulars only through an SMS, right? Becoming a paperless can be said, but did you teach your faculty and your staff how to become paperless? Train them. Have an opportunity for them to redress their grievances as well. Let's be good on either way. Revenue generation, I've already said, exploit all of them. Okay. Never ever depend only on the government fund. Okay. I would like to say this, celebrate your donors, have a donor party, donor meet. That donor meet is something like you're not only celebrating that donor, but you're making other donors come forward to donate to your institution. Okay. Institutional distinctiveness of best practice, which NAC has come up with as distinctiveness. How unique am I? What are my best practices? What practice of mine has made a turnaround in my organization, which others can emulate? Can I identify all those things? Am I having values, ethics, and being socially responsible, environmentally conscious? Let's do all those things. Identify your best practices, put them into practice, make everybody realize it. One department best practice could be emulated by another department as well. Let's try these things. Okay. At the end, if I want to do the McKinsey S model, the 7S model is important. The hard system is just your strategy, your system, and your structure in place. But what is required is your soft system. Who are your staff? What's their skill set? What is their style of working? Do all of us have that one shared value? My institution should be on the top. I grow with my institution. Should be there, not just for the management, top management, IQAC, till the first student who has just joined, we should have it. A team. We are, not because we work together, because we respect each other, right? Let's respect each other in our team. Handle your people properly. This I wish to tell to every IQAC member. You know, IQAC members are the most disliked members, which I said already. But the way you handle, that soft talk that you talk with them is very, very important. How do you do it? Effectively communicate. Interact them regularly. Don't just keep sending them only, I need this document, I want this document by tomorrow. No. Send them even a New Year greeting. Send them even a congratulatory note. Send them even when you have scaled up, because their contribution, you have got an ISO certification, your NIRF ranking went well. Please share the happy moments with them as well. Interact. Participation from their side. Clarity in what you want from them. Until they are clear, please explain to them. Recognize the department which is given to you first. This time, physiology department came up first. Request all of you to emulate physiology department. Please have a look at that filing. It's fabulous. Yeah, next time you will see another department would like to do. Be open. Be ready for criticism. I'm telling this for the IQAC members. Be ready for criticism. Learn from the issues and how to address them. Don't hurt anybody's sentiment or sensibility. Work along with them is very, very important. This is the catchphrase for anybody in management, anybody in IQAC. Never focus on the 5% of issues or troublemakers, but focus on the 95% where you are productive. That's the most important thing. If this 5% is going to cause your ranking, only then focus on them. Okay. So what? I'm back to the first slide. Organize your documentation, institutionalize your best practice, internalize your quality culture, improve your institutional functioning, become a dynamic, quality-oriented higher education institution. Your institution is sure to grow further. So role of IQAC beyond NAC, is it there? Yes. All IQAC stop with NAC, NIRF. No. BR for total quality management, productivity, quality of teacher, societal needs, efficiency, quality in every laboratory that we have, and economically oriented. With the 4 important key things: innovation, creativity, excellence, and the initiatives which are appropriately taken. 2 things to do it is a core working group and a good networking. Every facet that I have put here, you will be able to succeed, right? So please don't stop with NAC. You can bring in everything in your organization. Preparation in the minutest detail, backed with the right people, is required for a grand success. If you made a start, it's fabulous. But this Swamiji's loud cry at the Chennai, at the Madras boys thing, arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached, is the clarion call of Swamiji, which all of us need to have. But once the goal is reached, IQAC, please set the next goal. It doesn't stop. Keep raising the goal. Swamiji said one goal, but let's keep raising the goal, changing the goal over and over again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madangi ma'am. Thank you for such an informative session on IQAC roles and responsibilities. I'm sure this would be really helpful for all the educators today, and this session would surely inculcate at least a small change in their quality assurance system, I believe. So thank you so much for the session, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I would say that let us change. Let the way I keep my filing change. Then I can say my IQAC team to change. Then I can empower. Let me learn a technology. Let me teach my IQAC secretary the technology. It starts from me, right?
Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. So, dear participants, we'll be sharing a feedback link for the e-certificate and also Google review feedback link. And would request you to subscribe our channel for future webinars. Thank you so much for your wonderful feedbacks.
Thank you. It's encouraging. I'll be happy to answer. There was one question that I saw. Do we have any LMS? Do we have any LMS for collecting data? Yes, there are number of private organizations which have developed software for all these things. But I would advise, please, even if you're going to make an Excel or a Google sheet for collecting data, that is good enough. Make for yourself. Okay? Make for yourself. That would make it really better. But when you're making it, please take care of all data that you need to collect for NAC, for NIRF, for ISHE, for MCI, for AICTE. What do I need about a faculty? Get all the data captured. Don't keep asking them repeatedly. So that means all these committees sit together. What all do we need? Can we put them as columns? Can we put them as rows? Can we put it into the Google Sheet and send it to the individual faculty to fill and send? How do you need the publication for NIRF? How do you need the publication for NAC? Let us put one template. Let us see how our IT department can help us in collecting the data in the different format. This is the way you can develop. Okay. So that's actually Google Sheet or Google Forms are very good. You can try that. Okay. So that will be one good thing. There was one question here where I could see on criteria 8. Criteria 8 is specifically for colleges. It is data from every individual departments. Okay, you will be getting it from the college. Each, especially in health sciences, each of the health sciences, there is a different format that is given. Mostly, let's take it as a medical college. Your data in criteria 8 is somewhat, I will not say exactly, somewhat in alignment with what MCI gave. Okay, so something like that, you do it, you will be able to do it. I would only say one thing: let's not work just for NAC, but let us work for quality. You will see everything happening. That's the same thing that I told Shabana ma'am for dental college also. If you see that criteria 8 form, it is something similar to what DCIS has, in addition to what we saw in all the criteria 7 till criteria 7. You have some questions pertaining to that also coming in criteria 8. Okay. So that comes to around a score of 100 for a college, which is not there for a university, because that is encompassing. University actually has a lot more in curriculum and research. Okay, that is criteria 1 and criteria 3. Universities have a higher score. Any other question? I think whatever question that I had, Hema, I have just answered it. In case if you're getting any other question, just let me know. I don't see any more questions coming up. I should thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. All these are because of whatever I got to do with my IQAC in both my institutions. And obviously, when you do certain things, you start to see other institutions, other IQAC coordinators, how they work, and that helps you to do it. One thing alone, I would say, like when you see quality, see the most common task or the simplest task, how a person is doing. You will see how quality has got imbibed into that person. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you all for joining today. So please fill the feedback form for e-certificate and please post a Google review for us and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for such similar webinars on future. You can have a glimpse on our website too. It is isd.academy. And in training calendar, you can see all the upcoming trainings from our institution. So these are all the upcoming trainings we have in this 2020. So we do trainings for all ISO standards. We do certifications as well. Thank you all for your participation during this weather. Thank you. I thank our ISD team, especially IT team, for their support in organizing this session. I thank Mr. Satya, Mr. Prasad and Mr. Riju, Mr. Anandakumar and Mr. Chandrakala and Mr. Prabesh for organizing this wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon, participants. Kindly fill the feedback form. In the feedback form, you can able to see what are the services you have been looking forward from us. It may be of some technological trainings, AR, VR, or machine learning kind of trainings, or faculty development trainings, or you can able to look for some LMS setting for your organizations. Whatever the services you can able to look after from us, you can able to mark it and you can able to send to us. Our team can able to contact with you. Thank you.